morning. Uh, Yesterday we had done the first part, or the second part, I may say, of our chapter My Greatest Olympic Prize by Jesse Owens. We were doing the reading part and the explanation part. So we had left off on page number 104. So I'll start from page 104, the last paragraph. An angry athlete is an athlete who will make mistakes. Any coach will tell you. Any coach in the sporting world will tell their pupil that never to lose your temper. For in sports, if you lose your temper, you get angry, you are bound to make mistakes. And if you make mistake, you will not do your best. If you make mistakes, you will fail in your achieving. So, I out here is Jesse Owens, and this is because it's an autobiography. He is talking about his life, and he says, for me also, this particular saying, an angry athlete will make mistakes, was true for his case also, and he is admitting it also, that yes, even though you could be as famous as you are, as professional as you are, if you are angry, you will also make a mistake. And so it happened to him also. I was no exception. On the first of my three qualified. Now, in these events, there are many people, athletes who are competing for the same event. So they have different layers, different levels, and to qualify for the next level, you have to qualify. There's a qualifying mark. You have to jump further than that, and if you jump over that, you are automatically qualified. In his first jump, he oversteps the board. In long jump, you must be seeing, and when we have our sports also, there's a line there. Out here, there's a board, a platform. Even by millimeters, if you overstep, you are shown the red flag or you are disqualified. Right. I leapt from several inches beyond the takeoff for a foul, and as he was angry, he did not know what he was doing in his mind, so he jumped from behind the board. If you jump from way behind the board, also you are disqualified, and it goes as a foul. On the second jump, I fouled even worse. Second jump, now he was getting tense, and he made a bigger mistake. For the second time he fouled, he was shown the red flag. Did I come? Now after fouling twice, he knew in his heart, he knew in his mind that he has only one chance, just the last opportunity to qualify. And he sat down, tried to calm himself down, talked to himself, asked himself whether he's come all the way from America to Berlin to perform in this way, that is to disqualify himself from the main event. And he began to contemplate and think as to what should be done. How is he going to get himself qualified? Did I come 3,000 miles, America to Berlin, around 3,000 miles he had flown, and he's asking himself, you have come all that distance to make a mistake here, to make a fool of yourself. I thought bitterly to foul out of the trials and make a fool of myself, because he knew that if he fouled for the third time, it would make headlines. Jesse Owens not qualified for the long jump. It would startle the entire world, because everyone knew it was a short event where Jesse Owens was going to win the gold medal. And if this happens to him, it's going to be very bad for him. Anyway, walking a few yards, now they get chances. There are many athletes taking their chances, and you get time to calm yourself down, to talk to yourself, to try and get control of your nerves. He was walking, talking to himself, calming himself down, because he knew that he is only going to get this one last opportunity. So walking a few yards from the pit, I kicked disgruntledly at the dirt, and he was frustrated. He is hitting the ground with his spikes, talking to himself, trying to calm himself down. Suddenly I felt a hand on and he was like lost in thoughts, just lost in thoughts. And while he is walking, talking to himself, trying to calm himself down, suddenly out of the blues, someone touches him from behind, puts a hand on his shoulders, So when Jesse Owens feels a hand on his shoulders, obviously he looks behind. And when he looked behind, who does he see? I turned to look into the friendly blue eyes of the tall German broad jumper. And when he looked behind, he spotted that German long jumper. The German race, according to them, was the superior race. That why the eyes are also being highlighted. He had blue eyes. So he had easily, now Louis Long was that athlete, tall, hefty, blue-eyed man, and in the first jump only he had very easily qualified. And Jesse Owens had seen the previous days also that this particular athlete was jumping very calmly, and he was nearly jumping as far as Jesse Owens himself was jumping. So anyway, he had easily qualified. Now if you qualify in the first jump only, that means you go to the next level, and then you don't take part in the second and the third qualification. You don't need to, because you are qualified for the next round. So he easily qualified for the finals on his first attempt. That was his confidence, Louis Long's confidence. First trial, first jump, he qualified. He offered me a firm handshake. Now I turned around. I was not introduced to Louis Long. I did not know him. I just saw him. I just observed him. He put his hand forward and he shook my hand. Jesse Owens, I'm Louis Long. Now Jesse Owens was famous in the entire Olympic village. Jesse Owens was the most sought after athlete, the most famous athlete, and even Louis Long had known him. So he puts out his hand. Obviously Louis Long knew about Jesse Owens, so he shakes the hand and he tells him that you are Jesse Owens, I am Louis Long, and then he introduces himself that he was Louis Long. I don't think we've met, and he tells Jesse Owens that we have not met. This means that other athletes were in contact with each other. They were competing throughout the world, taking part in different events around the world, but Louis Long, as we were told before, was not allowed to take part in any event, as it was Hitler's secret weapon. He was going to be Hitler's secret weapon at these Olympics. And then he tells Jesse Owens that we have never met. I don't think we have met. He spoke English well, and Jesse Owens was taken aback because he was not thinking that this German could speak proper English also. But Louis Long had learnt English, and he very fluently he was speaking to Jesse Owens in English. Spoke English well, though with the German, but he had that German accent. Glad to meet you. Jesse Owens puts his hand forward, shakes his hand, and says that he was glad to meet him. I said, then trying to hide my nervousness, I added. Now in his heart, Jesse Owens knew that if anyone could beat him today, it was going to be Louis Long. He knew it in his heart of heart. So he was not showing extra friendliness to Louis Long. He had that nervousness in his heart, and very timidly, very nervousness, he was approaching Louis Long. I added, how are you? I is Jesse Owens, and I tried to advance the conversation, and I asked him, okay, how are you? They were introduced to each other now. I'm fine. So Louis Long says that he is fine. The question is, how are you? But he said, I am fine. The main point out here is, how are you? That is, Louis Long is giving a hint that he has observed Jesse Owens, and what he has observed is that Jesse Owens is not in the right frame of mind. So he asked him, I'm fine, how are you? So what do you mean? Jesse Owens was taken aback when Louis Long asked him, because Jesse Owens did not think that Louis Long would observe him that much and would observe and see his inner feelings. And he was startled, and he asked him, what do you mean by saying such a thing? What do you mean? I asked. Something must be eating you. So Louis Long was very frank, very friendly, and he says there is something on your mind that is eating you, that is playing on your conscience, playing on your mind. Okay. He said, proud the way foreigners are when they're mastered a bit of American slang. So I looked at him, and I was thinking in my mind, I is Jesse Owens, that this Louis Long is learned a little bit of English, and he is proud of learning English and trying to speak this language to me. So I took it in a different sense. You should be able to qualify with your eyes. So Lewis Long is very comforting, very soothing. And he tells Jesse Owens, you see, you are such an athlete that even if you put a blindfold on your eye, even if you jump with your eyes closed, you are bound to qualify. That is the encouragement given by Lewis Long to Jesse Owens. Why are you making a mistake? Twice you have gone and disqualified yourself, fouled. Even with your eyes closed, such an athlete, such a famous, such a professional athlete could have blindfoldedly done the jump and qualified. That is, he is motivating Jesse Owens. Believe me, I know it. I told him. So Jesse Owens also retaliates. He said, yes, even I know it. That even if I am blindfolded, I can jump with my eyes closed and qualify easily. And it felt good to say that to someone. And when he spoke to when Jesse Owens was speaking to Lewis Long, a little bit of his frustration, a little bit of his feelings were coming out. For the next few minutes, we talked together. Now they get time for the next jump. And for some time, they were talking, walking along, talking. And Lewis Long, the true sportsman that he was calming down Jesse Owens. Even though Jesse Owens was Lewis Long's greatest opponent, he knew that if anyone can jump more than him, it is Jesse Owens. Yet he is helping him out in his time of need. I didn't tell Long what was it. Now Jesse Owens not telling his heart exactly what is troubling him, but he seemed to understand my anger. But Lewis Long, being the athlete that he was, also understood that Jesse Owens was going through. And he took pains to and very calmly he sat me down. He spoke to me in a very calm and friendly way and reassured me that, Mr. this is your fault. Although he'd been schooled in the Nazi youth movement, now Hitler had a Nazi youth movement, meaning that students from school onwards were put into this movement by force, were taught their ideology, Hitler's ideology. And even though Lewis Long was schooled in the Nazi theory of believing, schooled by Hitler's theory, that is the Nazism, he still believed in other theories also. Schooled in the Nazi youth movement, he didn't believe in the Aryan, and he was not in favor of what Hitler believed, that is the Aryans were the superior race. This was not Lewis Long's belief, because he had his mind of his own, an Aryan supremacy, because any more than I did. Like just the way that Lewis Long believed that Aryans are not superior, in the same way Jesse Owens had the same belief that the Aryans are not superior. We laughed over the fact that he really looked the part, though an inch taller than I. And then they were getting more in contact with each other, talking in a calm atmosphere. And Jesse Owens laughed at the fact that Lewis Long was even taller than him by 1 inch. And Jesse Owens was a tall man, 6-footer. Lewis Long was even taller than him. He had a lean, muscular frame, that is thin, long legs, clear blue eyes, emphasizing that. Blonde hair, Germans, Aryans have blonde hair, blue eyes, blonde hair, and a stinkingly handsome chiseled face. These are the pure characteristics of a pure Aryan: a chiseled face, blue eyes, blonde hair. Finally seeing that we talked of many things, and finally seeing that I had calmed down somewhat, he pointed to the take. After calming me down, talking of everything else but the long jump, and when I was to some extent calmed down, brought myself to normal, he then pointed out my mistake. He took me to the jumping board and he told me, you see, this is your mistake. You take a different run up, measure your steps again, and jump from this point. He even marked the point from which he wanted Jesse Owens to jump. Okay, look, he said, why don't you draw a line a few inches in back of the board and aim at taking your takeoff from there. So he, with a stick or whatever, with his finger, the board was there. He told him, okay, here's the board, take a few inches from behind, mark here, and from here you mark your steppings, and you see you will not jump over. You will be sure to not to fall. And he assured him take my word, I'm not befooling you, take my word, mark your stepping from this line, wherever you want to jump from, but when you come to the board, you will not foul. Assurance was given by Lewis Long. You will be sure not to foul, and you certainly ought to jump far enough to, and he assured him that you will not foul, first of all, and you will even very easily jump over the qualification mark and qualifying for the next round. What does it matter if you are not first in the trial? See this man. He tells him, see, don't try to beat me right now, today. This is just a trials. We have to compete the next time also. It doesn't matter if you don't beat me today, if you don't jump more than me today. These are just the trials. These are just the qualifications. So don't keep that on your mind that you have to beat me today. Okay? Tomorrow it will, because tomorrow is going to be the final jump, and it is tomorrow that is more important. Don't worry about today. And taking that reassurance given by Lewis Long, Jesse Owens followed his instructions, and believe me, he jumped, he did not foul, and very easily he qualified for the next round that was going to take place the next day. So my dear students, I'll end here today on page number 105. We are going slow, but I'm making sure that you can summarize the entire story very, very nicely. That is why my main thing is to go slow with you, so that when you play all the combined videos together, you will get the entire story and nothing will be left out. So with that, I think I'll end today's video. Goodbye. God bless.